Hello everyone, welcome back. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like watching and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen folks, there's a link tree down below. Has links to all of my social media platforms. Please go down there, follow me across all my social media platforms and talk to me because I talk back. Also down there as well as links to all of my YouTube pages. Please go down there, subscribe to all my YouTube pages and turn on your notifications so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Now with that said and done, listen folks, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be talking Jets. We'll be doing an NFL draft recap. Call in. I'll be doing a live radio show. We'll have a lot of discussion. Can't wait to talk to you folks. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Now, with that said and done and put to the side, I've come to talk to you folks today about the New York Jets' fourth round pick of the NFL draft. We're going to be discussing some picks that we made there. Listen, Joe Douglas continued on and continued to do his thing. And, you know, this was a solid draft for us as we continue to wrap it up. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it, man, because Joe Douglas did a really good job in this draft. So in the fourth round, pick 111, the New York Jets took Max Mitchell, offensive tackle from Louisiana. Now, this was quite a pick here, okay, because this is a guy that is developmental, right? He's a guy that we can bring in. He's going to continue to work, but he's a tough guy. He's a smart guy. He's a guy that I think we can really push and get up to the level that we need him to be at. Now, the big thing about this as well is we need depth along the offensive line. We truly, truly do. This is something that a lot of people are not looking at. Now, when you look at his situation, again, he's a guy that's versatile. Not only can he play tackle, but he can also play guard as well. So here's a guy that we can put in those situations. We have a guard go down, he can step in. We have a tackle go down, he can step out there as well. We're also looking at a situation with George Fant. Now, again, there's reports that the New York Jets have reached out to George Fant. They're trying to work out the extension. Let's say that extension doesn't end up getting worked out and George Fant decides to walk away. This guy could be the guy that could step into that right tackle role, and fill it, with George Fant walking away. Again, within the system, he would have been here working out, doing his thing. Now, again, when you look at this situation, we've seen Joe Douglas do this before, right? Everybody remember Cameron Clark. He took in the later rounds of the draft. At one point, Cameron Clark was slated to be our starting right guard, and we were all kind of excited about what he would bring to the offensive line. But again, he had that neck injury and ended up, having to retire from it, and Greg Van Roten's our starting guard. But here we have a guy, again, that's going to be able to kind of sit within our system, learn our system within the first year, get things up to speed and get going. Again, there's been a lot of talk about, him improving his strength, putting on a bit of weight, which again, young players, that's just what happens when you come into the NFL. Nobody comes in fully complete, but he's a guy, again, with our offensive line coach that I think is going to be huge. Now, again, we can continue to address our offensive line depth. There's still players out there, whether it be undrafted free agents. I know that there's a lot of Jets fans that definitely want to see guys like LDT come back and all this other stuff. That's perfectly fine. But seeing Joe Douglas continuing to, address offensive line depth even late in this draft, I like the move. So I like what he brought in. I'm waiting to see what this kid can bring, the battles that he's going to have, how he's going to position himself on the depth chart. Can't wait to see what this guy's going to bring to the offensive line and its depth. So the next pick that we made in the fourth round, okay, pick number 117, Mitchell and Clemons, defensive end from Texas A&M. Now, this was an interesting pick, I will say that. And let me explain to you why it's interesting to me. This guy comes with some red flags, okay? He does. He comes with some red flags. Now, he has potential. There's quite a bit of red flags with him. One, there's some injuries that he's dealt with in the past, okay? That's one thing. He has an injury history. But the second thing is he's had some run-ins with the law, okay? I'm keeping it all the way real with you. He's had some run-ins with the law. And I know that he's basically said, hey, that's put in the past. That's not who he is. That's not the true reveal of his character, which I'm pretty sure, young guy, he's made mistakes and he's moved on from them. But still and yet, there's been some run-ins. Now, again, he had 2 arrests within 3 months, all right? 2 arrests within 3 months. One of them was an unlawful possession of a weapon. He also had a small amount of marijuana on him as well. And he also got caught for driving with an invalid license. Now, what's crazy about getting caught with the driving with an invalid license, he got caught for that twice. So it's like, the injury history and then the red flags as far as the law stuff makes you wonder. But again, it's been talked about. A lot of people have talked to Joe Douglas and they said, hey, listen, he came back and said, listen, we vetted this kid. We did every single piece of research on him. We studied him. We did that. That's why he was so confident in taking him in this draft within the 4th round. Now, one of the things that really sticks out about this guy is he's got potential. He's got the measurables. That's what's crazy. He's 6'5", 263. He ran a 4.8 at the combine. Listen, if this kid can put it together, I could see him sticking here and really making an impact, right? But he's got to, whatever has gone on in the past, if he's put that behind and he comes in here and works his butt off, I could see him, again, making an impact here. But he's got to do that stuff, right? Now, again, this defensive line is no joke as well. We're pretty deep there. We've got some guys here that can put some pressure. Again, we got Carl Lawson. We're all waiting for him to come back from that torn Achilles. We'll see what we get from him, but we're all excited about him and his, possible production. You also got Jacob Martin as well, just got from the Texans. We can't wait to see what we get from him, especially when people talk about his motor, what he can end up doing here. So we're all excited about him as well. John Franklin Myers, we all like John Franklin Myers, what he could bring to the table, but he's got to be more consistent. So that's something we can't wait to see from him this upcoming season. Vinny Curry, now back on the New York Jets, recovering from, the blood issue that he had. So that's been put in the past for him. He's ready to give us all that he's got this upcoming season. Sheldon Rankins as well, coming back. We want to see him take a step forward. Quinnen Williams, which is big question going forward with Quinnen Williams. We can't wait to see him become more of that dominant D tackle. Now, we've seen flashes, we've seen the play, but we need to see it more consistently. And again, the New York Jets have picked up his option as well. So he's a guy that I think the Jets are invested in, and we cannot wait to see him really take over this season again, especially with the added edge pressure with Carl Lawson, hopefully coming back healthy. And then we got Jermaine Johnson. That's going to make Quinnen Williams even more deadly. You got Solomon Thomas as well on that line. Veteran guy, knows Sulla, knows the defense. He's going to be coming here to give us his services. Nathan Shepard, who's a quality defensive lineman as well. And Jonathan Marshall, just to name a few guys. Jonathan Marshall, Joe Douglas drafted. So it's just to name a few guys that Clemens is going to have to go out there and compete against. And I can't wait to see what this kid's going to be able to bring to the table, man. But again, the red flags, I was a little surprised that Joe Douglas took him. So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. How do you folks feel about the New York Jets 4th round? What are your thoughts about some of the picks? What are your thoughts about Max Mitchell? I went back and forth with a lot of people, and they were excited about him. He's kind of almost, already a fan favorite, a guy that's really going to bring the fire, a tough guy. He's again, a lot of fans like him already, which is crazy. What are your thoughts about Clemens? What do you think he's going to be able to bring to this defensive line? And also, give me your thoughts about Joe Douglas kind of wrapping up this draft. How do you feel about him going forward as well and what he did in this draft for the New York Jets? So comment down below. Let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Peace.